Hello everybody, welcome back to the Nocturnal Gaming Network. My name is Xeriua, and today we are playing Spaceflight Simulator once again. This begins the second part of our station building series. So we are going to immediately go to the builder. The last time we were together, we put a node in space, and now we are going to work on command, right? So we want some sort of like big important looking like main module here, and I'm saying in my head it's going to be like some sort of command module, and like maybe there's going to be some sort of science in it, and it's going to also be the main path between like the work section and the living section of the space station. So we're going to go to our big parts, I think. And I don't know, what do I want to use here? How about this one? We're going to use this. This is going to be our main command, and it's going to be like the living and science and lots of things incorporated together module. And we're going to put a couple of these on each end of it just to have it like bulge out like that. That way it looks, I don't know, important. I'm going to say so it looks important. Next, we're going to go to our utilities, and we're going to put some docking rings on this thing. And I want, in my mind, I say that I want this to be like the center of our station. So I'm going to put 4 docking rings on it like this. Now, is that exactly centered? 1, 1. Yes, that is exactly centered without nice and properly measuring that. We're just going to do that and call it good. Next, we're going to put our tether onto it, so we have a rocket of some sort to hang on to this thing. This thing's big and heavy. Just by itself, it's 104 tons, basically. So, not quite. I mean, it's almost 100 tons. So this is... let's do this. Put the separator. Here's our second, or our primary space maneuvering stage. Gee, we should really put some RCS thrusters on that. No, we're not going to. We're just going to put the RCS on the craft. Next, let's go to the aerodynamic, and let's take care of our fairing. Not that one. The third stage fairing, or third size of fairing. And I'm just going to keep that going as long as I can. So right about here, we'll jump up to the 4th fairing. There we go, and we'll go up, and then I'm going to use the 3rd again, and the 2nd, and the 1st, and we'll taper down. There we go. We get a nice bulb on the top of our rocket. Now, that's 107 tons. That's pretty decent here. Let's see if, let's put one of these, how much? 130 tons. That's a lot for this little stage here. I think we're going to need to use bigger rockets here. I'm going to do it. I'm going to use the 52-ton fuel tank and the 6.75-ton fuel tank, and then I'm going to put this is new, the Frontier engine. I don't think I've used, no, I know I haven't used the Frontier engines yet here. And then since we've got a large rocket like this, we're going to put some separators, and we're going to actually go back to big parts, and we're going to put a double stack of these ginormous fuel tanks and use the Titan engine, which the Titan engine is the biggest engine currently in the game. So, you know, basically from now on, anything we use that's this big that we need more thrust, we're going to have to start putting multiple Titan engines on it, and you know, it's going to get out of control, and we're going to start doing crazy things with staging and whatnot. So here is the rocket, 427 tons. Oh, I never actually specified the Frontier engine has a thrust of 112 tons, so just higher than the Hawk. But I believe it's got a higher efficiency than the Hawk. Let's see here. The Hawk is ISP of 250. So what's the ISP on this? ISP of 285. So it is just slightly more efficient than the Hawk. And then the Titan, the ISP isn't as good, but it's got a thrust of 300 tons. So it's extra. It's amazing. Oh, we need another nose cone here. Let's do that. Pop the nose cone on, please. Then just fix our fairing. Fix our fairing. There we go. So now our rocket's done. Let's launch it. Yes, launch anyway. I know I don't have a parachute. All right, we're going to get this thing ready. Let's get a view. Good view for some sort of thumbnail. There's our thumbnail. Okay, we're going to turn our gigantic ass Titan engines on. We're going to go to 100% thrust, and we're actually going to do a gravity turn again here. So there it is. We're going to have to end up catching up to the current space station. It's right here, so let's set it as our target. It's at 250 meters. No, 250 kilometers here. Use the right units, please. And we're just going to launch. So boom, there it is. Once we get to 200, we're going to start to turn. So about right here, start turning over. Now this is a big and heavy craft, and I suppose if we want to be technical, we only have like 1.8-ish thrust to weight, 1.9 thrust to weight, so we have to sort of be careful with this one. We don't want to go too high. We really do want to do a gravity turn because of the efficiency, and we want to be careful. We are over to 60 degrees way too soon, so we're going to sort of go back a little bit just to make sure that we are raising our apoapsis enough here. I wish it wouldn't do that line, but whatever, we should be fine here. We've got plenty of thrust. We're going to be at like 15 kilometers when we actually end up out of thrust in the stage, but that's fine because we have enough thrust in our secondary stage. Alright, so we're going to activate the secondary stage right away. We're going to be slightly radial out, and here we go. Just keep burning. Just keep burning. Just keep burning. Alright. So, we are climbing on our apoapsis. We're actually doing pretty good on speed, though, because we're almost at the 1,000 meters per second range, which that's when it starts to get easier to actually do the circularization and such. So, we should be fine. We were a little overzealous with our turn on the gravity turn. So because of that, our apoapsis is too low. So if that happens, make sure you go radial out. And if you go radial out, we've actually caught up with our speed. So now I can start turning back to prograde again. And that's going to start, we're going to start creeping up on the apoapsis again. But we're putting more power into getting our sideways momentum going. So as long as we make sure that we don't pass our apoapsis here, we should be good. We are slightly less efficient. Well, we're probably a little bit less efficient because we're still in the atmosphere, so there's some resistance here. But we will be raising our apoapsis out of the atmosphere fairly shortly, so not much to worry about. We have plenty of thrust to actually go through and do this mission. Here we go. See how our apoapsis is moving away from us? Now's the time where we want to definitely start turning into prograde. Make sure we're going purely prograde because we don't want it to get way out ahead of us. Alright, so we're gonna have to catch up to this thing. So to do that, what we're gonna do is we're going to raise our apoapsis directly from here. We're gonna raise it to about 245 kilometers, assuming we have enough fuel. I think we will, but I'm not 100% sure. So we're going to keep an eye on the apoapsis, keep rotating ourselves prograde. I'm probably going to end up ahead of this thing, so I might need to go a little farther than 250 kilometers to make sure that, yeah, I'm going to be out ahead of it. So let's go a little bit past like 253 kilometers, and what we're going to do is we're going to, there we go to the apoapsis. Slow down. Oh dear. There we go. I don't know why the button didn't work. I pressed the button. There we go. One. Alright. We're going to rotate around, which, to do that, let's actually activate the RCS thrusters, because that'll spin us a little bit more efficiently here. Maybe not. Either way, what we're trying to do is we're trying to turn retrograde with this big unwieldy rocket, and we're going to burn to lower our periaps so that it's into the atmosphere and we can... Oh no! I have burned the wrong way. Can we salvage this? I think we can. I'm going to say yes we can. We're going to flip around because I'm stupid. I don't know why I did that. Because we were already at retrograde. There we go. We'll burn. And boom. Are we in? We are in. We're at 28 kilometers. So now what I will do is separate this stage. And then we will... Come on. I want to be able to turn that engine on. Oop. I don't want to slow us down anymore. What I want to do is spin this thing around. I'm going to go radial in just a little bit. There we go. That should get us around this module, and then I can go prograde again. We just need to burn prograde a little tiny bit to get ourselves back out of the atmosphere. So there we are, 32. That's fun. Actually, where are we? We're at an apoapsis of 54, so I'm just going to burn straight. No, I'm going to go around again. I want to go around again so I'm not raising my apoapsis too much when I do this. So we're going to switch to this other module. We are definitely in the atmosphere. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to deorbit it. Once we hit the atmosphere, there we are. We should have hit. You can see our apoapsis slowly dropping. And we're just going to sit on this for a few rotations because it's going to take a few times around of breaking through the atmosphere to actually deorbit this thing. So that's fine. We're actually almost we're at our periapsis, so we've only lost we're only going to lose 10 kilometers on this, so it's going to take a few times around, but that's all right. Once we hit height out of the atmosphere. Once we hit 30 kilometers, we're going to switch back. We're actually probably about good on, yeah, we're not going to lose too much more. So we are going to, we don't need to rotate ourselves prograde at all here, because when we accelerate through time, we're going to be in the right orientation. So we're going to our apoapsis. We're going to go slightly before the apoapsis, and then we're going to point ourselves radial in just a little bit. Okay? And that will increase the height of our periapsis while simultaneously just barely lowering. Well, now we've passed the apoapsis, so it's not going to really lower us too much anymore, but that's okay. Okay, we're good for this time around, so we're going to switch back to the module we want to deorbit. I wish I had just a hair more delta V here to actually get myself further into the atmosphere to slow myself down faster, but I didn't, so what can you do? There we go. So we're at 29 again. Our apoapsis is dropping. It's God, at this rate, it's going to take us like 10, so I don't even want to see this, like 9, maybe 10 times around the planet to actually lower our apoapsis to be inside the atmosphere. The one good thing about this is as we are slowing down, we're going to have more time in the atmosphere each time around because of the change to our trajectory. So, maybe it won't take that many. Because I feel like we definitely did lose more height off of this one at about 20 kilometers here, rather than the 10 from the previous. So, that's decent. Alright, we're good. Switch to this one. So, where we have spent so much time in orbit here, we're actually back behind this module, back behind our target module. So I'm going to lower my apoapsis now and catch up to it. I'm going to lower it to 49. And then we're going to go back around again. And this time, instead of messing with that other module, we're just going to go through and raise our periapsis to the appropriate location. I want about 200 and let's just say 45 on our periapsis, like I was aiming for in the first place. And that way we're gonna gain still. So right about there, that'll gain us on the station over the next few rotations. Oh, I just missed that. That's okay. So we're gonna go around again. We actually do have a few rotations until the command module catches up with that node. So we're good. We can just sort of sit here and deorbit this module. I wish physics played out on all of these parts, all the time, rather than only when you have them active or you're within a very, very short distance from them. Now, our periapsis should be changing very soon. We should be going at a slow enough speed that the periapsis will change. 28.9 still. So I think it's going to take a couple more times through before our periapsis starts to rotate The other thing, I think, if we turn this thing so it hits side 2, we shouldn't be able to do that until we leave the... Oh wait, we can't do that because we don't have control. So this thing's just flopping around, however. Alright, we're going to go around again. There we go. Oh no, I didn't actually slow down. I was still at five times speed. Alright. Come on, you can do it. There we go. Ooh, 29.2, 29.1. We're getting there. 28.9. I hope this isn't going to collide with that satellite. It's getting pretty close. I mean, when you think about the absolute massive cosmic scale that we're at here. We're going up again. There we go. Next pass through the atmosphere, we're going to lose some more speed. Maybe I should speed this part up. That might be the way to do this. And this, people, is the real life real life plight of someone playing this game. You just spend so much time waiting for things like this if you're playing, real, and because I really don't want to just go and clear debris or destroy pieces. I want to do this like for real. If I leave something in orbit, I want to keep it in orbit. I want to add, to the challenge here instead of just, it's close enough. It's a game. There we go. I think we're probably going to need like 4 more passes through the atmosphere. We are catching up, though, as far as our module to the station node, so that's good at least. This time isn't necessarily wasted, it's just not as high speed as it could have been. 28.9 still. We go, passing through the apoapsis. Okay. Right about there. Perfect. I can't believe how long this is taking to deorbit this. At this point, it's going to be going slow enough that it might not even burn up. It might just sort of smash into the ground. Because, I mean, in this game, technically things don't burn up. They just smash into the ground and explode. But I think in real life, when they deorbit stuff like this, they deorbit at angles such that as it's flying into the atmosphere, a lot of the stuff is going to harmlessly burn up and just disintegrate away to nothing. So you aren't raining these gigantic chunks of stuff down. And if they aren't doing that, they're going to deorbit it in such a way that whatever does remain is going harmlessly into the ocean. So, lessons, life. There we was a little late slowing down on this one, so we're not quite going to get as much, but we're almost there. We're about halfway done. Halfway done. That's funny to me. It shouldn't be, but it is. You know, maybe I should leave this and then, like, I think, how much time do we have here? We still have plenty of time for that to catch up to itself, so I don't know. We're just gonna keep going. We're almost there. Each time we are spending a little longer in the atmosphere, so we only have a few more times around, and then it's going to be taken care of because we're losing about 20 per, so that's, let's say, 4 more. And then I know I've said this before, but eventually our periapsis will shift and we will not have to worry anymore. All right, let's just switch to this and we will accelerate time. We're going to follow it and then accelerate time around, and that will allow us to catch up to the other one. And, you know, we're at 2,500 times. If we go up to 10,000, it's kind of hard to see what's going on. So, you know, be careful. 2,500 times is probably about as fast as you want to be going for your Earth orbit type time warping. But that's up to you. You can go as fast as you want. All right, so we're at 249. So a couple more times around, and the next time we hit our apoapsis, we're actually going to raise. We're going to stop here for a second and raise our periapsis. And the reason for that is we're getting close, so we don't want to catch up with it as much each time. And that way it puts us closer to the target for when we actually make the encounter here. So we need to go like one more quarter time around. So like right about there, boom, there's our encounter. We can see it right over the engine on button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn RCS on now, and we're going to rotate this monster until it's facing towards the module, but a little ahead of it. So something like this, and we're going to go full blast, and we're just going to tap the on button. Something like that. Now we can rotate towards the opposite side of it, because it is coming towards us. We can just go on, and then we'll time warp. And we can see it right at the corner of the screen, getting closer to us. There it is. So we're almost good here. We just need a little bit more time. And now we probably want to stop this, and we want to go upwards. And I'm just going to use the RCS thrusters. Upwards and backwards, and that'll cancel out our side-to-side momentum in relation to, you know, ourselves to each other. And we can rotate back here. Now, the reason you want to try and use the RCS when you're close, one, it makes finer adjustments, but the other thing is RCS will take fuel evenly from all of your connected fuel tanks. So if you use the RCS, you can actually use it to pull fuel out of something that the main thruster isn't connected to. So you can save the thrust in the stage that the thruster is connected to for when you're using the main thruster. Instead of, actually just going through and rotating this and doing the thing, we would end up running out of, or maybe not running out of in this case, but lowering the main fuel. And we don't want to do that because we want to use these two connected modules right here to go through and try and keep this thing in a nice orbit. Because remember, I said as we're doing this, we're going to actually end up disturbing our orbit because of, well, the fact that we're taking two objects that are at slightly different speeds from one another and smacking them into each other in space. It sort of tends to disturb your speed a little bit. Oop. See how close I am, but it didn't quite click? There it is, it's clicked. Now we have those two locked. Let's see what our final speed is. 0.4 is what the change in our speed is. So we're going to come over here, unfollow, we're going to click on this one, switch to this one, and it's unset as our target. Now we just need to finish cleaning up space here. 29.4, so we got just a little bit more to go. And then we can finally deorbit this thing that's been a pain in the ass since the beginning of the video because I was stupid and burned the wrong way. Ideally, when you're deorbiting things, at least around Earth or in any planet with an atmosphere works, but on Earth, I find that you want to try and get it below 25 kilometers. Because if you can get it below 25 kilometers, then it's going to deorbit itself by atmospheric braking quite quickly. Like, it would probably, if we had made 25 kilometers, it would have probably only taken maybe 2 or at most 3 passes through the atmosphere to completely deorbit this thing from 250 kilometers. But instead, where we were a little high, I don't even know what count this is. It's like we're like 10 or 12 times around the planet here. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous, and it's all my fault. Whatever. See how the periapsis has finally changed? We're on the last stretch. We're at 28.8. We were at 28.9. So we're going somewhere with this. Finally. I mean, it's about time that we're finally able to make some progress. 90. So this time around, we're probably going to make it to about 85 kilometers, and then it's 65 kilometers. Okay. So we're drawing to a close. We are spending a lot more time in the atmosphere now. We have finally come to that point where it's, slowing down more each trip through. Now I wonder, well, we're right here and I'm just sort of sitting, what is the actual height at which the atmosphere ends on Earth? That's something that I'm wondering here. So let me do a search here. Earth atmosphere levels. Alright, so let's see if we have something that's got heights on it. Alright, so... Okay, so... This is... Mesosphere. Okay, so it looks like the Earth's atmosphere ends at somewhere around 550 kilometers. There's the 5 layers here. There's the troposphere, which basically goes from the ground to about 10 kilometers. The stratosphere, which is going from about 10 to 50 kilometers. And then the mesosphere, which goes from 50 kilometers to about 80, what was that, 87-ish? And then thermosphere, which goes from the 87 all the way up to what looks like 500 kilometers. And then the final layer is the exosphere, which goes, it doesn't say like where it ends, but based on the graph, it looks like the exosphere goes from about 500 to 530 or 550 or something like that. Exosphere, oh, I see. The exosphere is just from 500 kilometers up is what it's listed as. So I don't know if there is a specific, height which the atmosphere actually like legitimately just ends. It's just done. I don't know. But here we are. 28.6, we lost 0.2 kilometers, so if this is not the last time around, it is the second to last time around, and we can just end the video and call it good now that we've, cleaned up our mess. It is interesting how it takes so long to slow down, even though relatively, comparatively, relative to actually accelerating, it takes a long time to slow down. Because, I mean, we really didn't take that much time speeding up and making it into orbit. But, I don't know. We definitely made it this time. We're not even at periapsis, and we are almost to the bounds of the atmosphere in this. Although, thinking about this, if our atmosphere ends at 30 kilometers and the real-life atmosphere ends at 550-ish kilometers, that means we're... Oh, I don't know. Hold on, let's do some math. Calculator. So... that means that we are at approximately, at least for the atmosphere, we're about 1/5 of the size of the real Earth, if my math is correct. Which, I mean, that's some pretty basic math, so I think I'm pretty close here. Bam, there we go. Let's just go into the thick of the atmosphere, like right here. 39. All right, our periapsis is actually turning, so this is it. We got this. Although it is sort of weird to see this thing flopping around all over the place. I wish I had put a control surface on it so I could just turn it sideways and get a lot more braking power each time around. Yeah, our periapsis is definitely ahead of the craft, and it's actually increasing farther away from the craft, so it's going to switch on us now. And basically at the point that it switches, this thing's done. So we're just going to follow it around. Now I wonder here, if I am completely in the atmosphere, so 29 point, let's go with like 29.65. Okay, so we're definitely 100% in the atmosphere. What we're going to do is we're going to switch to this stationary object, and we're just going to speed through time. And we're going to see, if I set this as target, we're going to see if there's any change. No, there is no change whatsoever. I don't like how that works. It really should, like, properly calculate physics on this stuff. 27, 28, 27.4. Alright, so what we're going to do is we're going to accelerate through to the periapse. Bam. And what am I following? I'm following this. So let's do that. And then now it's switched again. Our periapsis is going down. So once this is less than 25 kilometers, I'm just going to accelerate through time around. Oh, there we are. We hit 25 kilometers. We can no longer accelerate through time. We're going sideways relative to our direction of travel. And our periapsis is going to switch really, really quickly. Bam, there it is. Pretty soon that's going to be the apoapsis, and our periapsis is actually dropping quite nicely, although we have started to tumble. The play-by-play, 20 kilometers. So what we're going to do, I can't actually time warp here, can I? Watch this. We'll switch to this one. We will go until this thing's roughly on the other side of the planet. We'll switch to it again. Now we're at 21. And bam, there we are. 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, oh, 12. Oh, it's because it's flopping around. 3, 2, bam, collision. Alright, so now we can go to our station. We can accelerate through time. Bam, there it goes. Now we can go to the map, and we have perfection. So we're going to end the video right here. The next time we return, we're actually going to be adding some arms off of these docking ports on the top and bottom, and we're going to use those arms to hold a solar array. And in my little headcanon here, I'm also saying a solar array and more scientific space. So thank you all so much for watching. My name's Xeriua, and this is the Nocturnal Gaming Network, bringing you Spaceflight Simulator, Station Building Simulator. Have yourselves a wonderful night, everybody.